I would normally tell everybody to please take your seats, however, that's not the case tonight. So I know that there's a lot of people here tonight, and that's a wonderful thing. When your students are going to come forward, we're going to ask that you come in. So if right now we could make sure we get all the high schoolers in and their parents, even if we have to fill in, okay? So the high schoolers, just stand in back there. Don't come forward, just stand back there. But I just want to fill in between maybe or something.
In other words, pack them.
It's nice to have the issue of this many students to award, but I want to make sure if the high school kids can kind of come around in here and make sure all the parents get in. All right.
Yeah.
I just want to assure everybody that you will be in here we'll get you in here when your students are here. I would like to call to order tonight's meeting of the CUSD 201 Board of Education, tonight, January 27th, 2015. Roll call, please, Mrs. McMahon.
Mr. Armstrong.
Here.
Ms. Caparelli.
Here.
Mrs. Charlton.
Here.
Mrs. Hancock.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Mrs. Notbush.
Here.
Mr. Price.
Here.
If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we're going to start with the high school first. If there is anybody out in the audience that's from the high school, if you want to come in, you can even go on the side here. So, Jack, do you want to have your students maybe come on over there?
Please come over here. Line up behind me, make me look good.
Yeah, even filter it a little bit back here. That's fine.
Everybody looks nice. Yeah.
Are the high school families all in here? High school, I want to make sure all the high schoolers are in here first.
Hey. How are you? Good, sir. See you. Where's Coach Wolf? I just saw him.
And we'll
Okay. Ready to go? Well, good evening, everybody. This is a nice situation to have overflow crowd recognizing the wonderful students in 201. Thank you to Board of Education and to our central administration for having this event. We're going to kick it off with our veteran and wonderful cross-country coach, a former teacher in 201, and just an amazing person. Coach Wolf is going to talk about the cross-country team. So, Coach Wolf.
Standing room only. Well, I'd like to thank this opportunity to recognize our student athletes here tonight, and I'd also like personally to thank you for the opportunity to coach these fine young men and women. We had another great season, and I feel very privileged to have been able to work with such talented and dedicated individuals as these young men and women, along with many other members that are on our team. I'm happy to be here tonight to present to you members of our cross-country team that qualified for the state meet last November. I'm going to start with our boys team because I see some of them here. I think our girls team might be buried in the audience out there, but our boys team finished 17th in the state meet, and we had 4 seniors, 1 sophomore, and 1 freshman. So I'm just going to call their names if they're present in the audience and they can make their way up. That would be great. Anthony Alessi, Tony Cordero, Nick Day, Mitch Parada, Sam Asa, and Jake Juska. Our girls' team finished 22nd in the state meet. That was a very young team. We had 6 freshmen, 1 junior, and 1 senior. So we'll see who's here tonight. Senior Imogene Asa, Brittany Ironman, Hannah Abaticola, Lily Arndt, Amelia Maslany, Hallie Nash, Peyton Nash, and Lisa Nemick. Both of these teams worked very hard from the first day of summer running right through the state meet, and their presence here tonight illustrates what our young people can do when they dedicate themselves to a cause, work hard, and see it through to the finish. So congratulations, Sentinels.
Did any parents need to come forward and take pictures? I want to make sure you got your...
Thank you.
I know, I saw him walk right in front of me.
Next, we have advanced placement scholars. Now, normally, this is a distinction for students who are seniors and have graduated, and we had 13 of those students. But these students distinguished themselves because they've already earned this recognition while they're still in high school, which is pretty special. They had to pass at least 3 advanced placement classes. And so, as I said, we had a record number 16 this year, but 3 were already have earned this honor, and they're still attending Westmont High School. So we'd like to recognize Mitchell Allen, Iris Lee, and Andrew Russell. It's pretty amazing because they didn't even start taking classes till last year, and they've already passed 3, and I know that they'll earn even higher honors in the upcoming year, as will many of their peers. So congratulations, all 3 of you. Great work. We're also recognizing our Illinois State Scholars. Now, the thing that's really special about this is statewide, on average, 10% of the seniors in Illinois are recognized, but we had over 15% of our class. So that's, and in our particular class, almost 60% more than the average high school in Illinois. Westmont High School has that many Illinois State Scholars this year. And that's based on their academic achievement, their ACT scores, and the grades in the classes they've taken. So that's significantly higher than the average in the state of Illinois, as I said. And we're very proud of these students. Each one of them is not only outstanding in academics, but they're also great leaders, great citizens, and most of them are involved in multiple activities, yet they still achieved at this highest level. So here are Illinois State Scholars for 2014-2015. Mitchell Allen, Imogene Asa, Courtney Catris, Thomas Cognetti, Nicholas Day, Charles Donovan, Iris Lee, Robert Medlicott, Timothy Noonan, Amy Pan, Uris Plesevisk, Skylar Pohl, Victoria Thomas, and Aaron Wadecki.
Okay, I want to make sure all these parents get in here. Slide over that little bit.
Judy. Sure. Photobomb opportunity. Just jump up.
Just jump up, Judy, just jump up.
All right, let's just start really this here. We've already 2 rows. So about 8 people in the back and then short. Ladies, probably in front. Yeah, there you go. Good. Did that very quickly. Thank you. Windows, there you go. Blue. Amazing group of young scholars, they really are, and great citizens.
Do we have any parents that need to come in?
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here, everybody. It's awesome. Thanks for being here.
High school exodus. I was like, this half looks dumb, but I'm cold.
That's where he's going to start.
We should have done this one. Just like this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard with the grades.
Hard time with that.
It's okay. It's a good problem.
We asked her.
Was it?
One group down.
Yes. In the auditorium. Because your point about the 5C.
At this time, if I could have the Westmont Junior High School students start moving their way to the front.
Fine. Yes, you can.
Come on.
Definitely. Actually, we should have it at school.
Can't see him. He's in back there, but
He's in back
I
in
haven't
the
seen
green.
the tie. Yeah.
He's got a green, light green front. It's true.
We should just break it up.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
I still haven't seen my husband for what it's worth. Just, you know, in the flight's worth category.
I know. There's a huge gap at one side.
Okay, I think we're just about ready. I'd also like to say thank you to the Board of Education for your support and your service and for having us here tonight. I'm thrilled to be here to celebrate some of our students and the amazing things that they're doing. If you're wondering what else is going on at Westmont Junior High School, I've got a plug. Go to our Facebook site because there's so much more going on, and you'll see these faces and some others along the way. I'm going to call upon some group of students. When I asked the teams over at the junior high to recognize students, we went by 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and then the Explo PE group. And so I'll ask that the groups go up forward to expedite things. So students, if I call your name, just go to the front, and then I'll give a short description. Lily and Zane, Allison and Riley, Colin and Kira. You guys can just start lining up, and then I'll recognize you individually. Luna and Oliver, Lillian and Connor. That's okay. So the 6th grade team is proud to acknowledge the 6th grade Students of the Month. These students were chosen based upon the following criteria: respect, responsibility, and celebrating success. Under respect, these are students that are treating others, both the students and the staff, fairly. They're also being helpful. Under responsibility, they're always coming to class prepared, and they're trying hard. They show class time effort, or they show effort in class, they do their homework, and they participate as well. They follow the school rules. There's no referrals, for example, and they accept responsibility. For celebrating success, these are students that are involved in activities at school. They show pride as well, and they appreciate others' successes as well as their own. So at this time, the September 2014 Students of the Month, Lily Sakalis and Zane Thibodeau, step forward. Zane. The October 2014, Allison Lambert and Riley Dorsey. November 2014, Colin, I don't believe Shimileski is here right now, and Kira Sharkey. And December 2014, Luna Medlicott and Oliver Kowalski. And January 2014, Lillian Burton, who's not here, and Connor Sullivan.
Do we have all parents taking a picture if they need? Step forward.
And parents, we will have some pictures on our Facebook site as well. Thank you, Students of the Month. Okay, 7th grade students. These are students that I'm going to say your first name. You'll stand up there just like before, and we'll acknowledge you. So Riley, Anika, Nick, Grace, Ryan, Alana, Alex, and Amanda. So the 7th grade team would like to acknowledge the following students for demonstrating outstanding effort in both academics and extracurricular activities. These superstars sparked our attention with their galaxy levels of academic achievement, planetary effort in the classroom, and lastly, their stellar dedication to Panther athletics and extracurricular activities. These students work tirelessly on the Panther path, both during school and after. Their twinkling efforts shine bright for many to admire. Did you see a theme here, everyone? So at this time, Riley Bassett, please step forward. Anika Bupalam. Nick Charlton. Please keep your distance, President. Grace Heary. Ryan Midgley.
Started with the hugs again tonight.
Sorry, Ryan.
Is this going to be the hug thing?
Alana Morano. Alex Peterzak. And Amanda Rosland. Please put your hands together for 7th grade. Thank you, 7th grade. Okay, from the 8th grade, we actually have 8th graders and 2 7th graders that were recognized under this group. So at this time, Cammie Ward and Gavin Hancock, please go forward as 7th graders. Selena Zackham, Ashley Liljeberg, Katie Russell, Jack Armstrong, Caroline Sullivan, Belle Circo, and Haley Hart. Are there any other 8th graders in the back? Okay. The students that I'm about to present to the group, they volunteered to step up and be leaders amongst their peers at Westmont Junior High School. In particular, I'm referring to a successful program that benefits the students across grades 6th through 8th at our school. This program is called Operation Snowflake, and it's about to start this Friday. These students were interviewed and chosen by adult leaders. These students make sacrifices for the benefit of the many. This group of leaders is dedicated to making their school a better place, and they work tirelessly in order to make Snowflake, the retreat weekend, a success. We are proud to recognize the following students for their dedication, their leadership qualities, and their selflessness towards our school community. So for the 7th graders, Cammie Ward, and Gavin Hancock. Selena Zackham is not able to be here tonight. Ashley Liljeberg. Katie Russell. Caroline Sullivan. Also receiving award but unable to be here are Jack Armstrong, Belle Circo, and Haley Hart. Congratulations. All right, thank you. Next, Anika Bupalam, Colin Larkin, Mackenzie Perry, Amanda Rosland, Megan Thompson, and Jake Torrens. Please go to the front.
No, it is, but they're different.
The exploratory team is proud to acknowledge the following students for their individual achievements in athletics and fine arts. First, Anika Bupalam, who participated in the Illinois Music Educators Association competition under soprano. Congratulations, Anika. Amanda Rosland also participated in the IMEA competition under the French horn. Congratulations, Amanda. Jake Torrens, who's not able to be here, participated as well under the bass. Mackenzie Perry placed second in the girls' elite race at the SDEAA Cross Country Conference this fall. Congratulations, Mackenzie. Megan Thompson placed sixth in the girls' elite race at the SDEAA Cross Country Conference in the fall as well. Congratulations. And Colin Larkin for going above and beyond in band and leading an 8th grade E-period class in bucket drumming. Congratulations and thank you. Okay. Thank you again, Board of Education and students.
Okay, Miller Mustangs, if you can make your way up front. Give you some time. I know there's a lot of you towards the back. Please make your way up front. You can hop on right here. Yeah. You may not all fit, but we'll do our best.
I think she'll do first quarter. Marie.
Oh my gosh, so much fun.
My son couldn't make it tonight. I couldn't make it. I mean, he doesn't do shit.
Yeah, I'm doing them by, so it'll be like all grades.
I still shouldn't even see all.
There's a ton.
Okay, so for the can you do kind of a
Yeah, so what I'll do is I will read the whole and then I'll do this group and wait,
It would have been the
and
back
then
of
do the next group and wait.
the proof is here.
Yeah, I'll have them come up as I call them.
Well, there's quite a few on numbers.
They're so cute when they're little and then they have order. So is she doing the scholars first? Okay, so well, it's good citizen. Scholar and then a good citizen award. And
You
then
guys ready? Please away your mouth. Where is she?
I kind of forgot it.
Where is she? There's some mucus coming. Okay, well, first and foremost, thank you to the Board of Education for allowing our Miller Mustangs to shine tonight. So I'll tell you a little bit about our Citizen and Scholars program that we have at Miller, our Miller Way Assemblies. So Miller School began the Scholars and Citizens program about 15 years ago as part of the Character Counts program. It was a way to teach students social and academic responsibility and reinforce the concepts of being an exemplary citizen and scholar. Students learned what the expectations would be and were challenged to live up to those expectations. A Miller Way Assembly was held to present awards to students who were chosen by the classroom teachers. There was one recipient for each of the 2 categories per classroom. 2 years ago, the district adopted Rachel's Challenge. As students accepted the challenge, they were reminded to look for the best in others, dream big, choose positive influences, speak with kindness, and start their own chain reaction. Rachel's Challenge melded perfectly with teaching students about good citizen and scholars, and so we continue the Miller Way Assemblies at Miller School every quarter. When choosing students, teachers look for specific traits and behaviors. To be chosen good citizen, the students should have a kind, caring, positive attitude. They should be helpful to peers and teachers and follow the ideals of the Rachel's Challenge program. There should be role models for other students throughout the school. They could be described with any of the following adjectives: conscientious, honest, respectful, compassionate, and considerate. Being chosen for the Scholar Award at Miller School takes more than just good grades. Good scholars will show enthusiasm for learning. These students are enthusiastic, determined, and motivated. They are attentive in class, and they will finish assignments and homeworks when expected. Most importantly, they don't give up. Even when the work is difficult and the assignments are time-consuming, they keep trying until they succeed. We are very, very proud of our students from Miller School. And tonight, we have our good citizens and scholars for first and second quarter here with us. These students have demonstrated many of the qualities previously mentioned. On behalf of the entire Miller staff, I want to congratulate the following students. So these are the first quarter Scholar of the Month awards. So from kindergarten, we have McKenna Volmer. I think I saw her. She is right.
That's a good sis, yeah.
George Wilson. Okay, we also have from first grade, Cecilia Gamboa. Jocelyn Leon Alvarez in second grade. Zoe Abington. Nathan Nelson. Lily Kastner and Mackenzie Blaine.
Make sure that all these parents can get forward and get a picture.
Wait. Come here. Yeah, you're fine. You're right on time. When you hear your name, okay? Yes, they are done. Okay, this is our first quarter Good Citizen Award. We're going to start with kindergarten and go down to 5th grade. Aiden Ayub, Elizabeth Martinez Marcos, Caden Miati, Brise Staniscu, Jasmine Ortiz, Sam Gupta, thank you, Evan Milau, Lizzie Chanel,
What's in here? She says they're the best.
you saw her? Thank you. One more time, Caden. Okay. These are our first quarter Good Citizen Award recipients.
He's going to be a CEO.
Did all the parents get this group?
You can see how much they care about their classmates. That's why they're receiving these awards. Okay, second quarter for Scholar of the Month. Boys and girls, listen out for your name, okay? We're going to start with kindergarten and go down to 5th grade once again. In kindergarten, Henry Barrett. Christian Gomez. Ooh, careful when you walk that way, okay, boys and girls? Brandon Madrid. There you go. Alexa Davalos. Alexa, I saw you. Brandon Vo.
He's not here.
I saw Brandon. Janiyah Hood. Isabella Maidlova. Angel Ortiz Sanchez.
Taking pictures of the wrong angle. It's kind of like this one.
And Raven Bassett. Congratulations, boys and girls. One more. Is this you? Are you here? Are you here? Okay, second quarter Good Citizen Award. Kindergarten, Samyukta Viswanathan. Jacqueline Torres. Joey McCullough. Rayan Sheikh. Annie Chanel. That's okay. She'll give you one. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Arissa Amundsen. Crystal Tehran. I saw Crystal. Ethan Noonian. And Andrew Aho. Congratulations, second quarter recipients. Miller parents, I'd like to ask you for a big favor. If you can email me some of these pictures, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Your mom's calling you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming up. Yeah, no problem.
That client team last week. We use sign language in the office for one thing. You can use yourself during a meeting.
I'll check. I'll check and send it home
Someone
tomorrow.
did that.
If I have another one, I'll get it.
Kind of
Okay?
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh no! I go no, the other way. I'm like, that was bold for you. Don't ever do that. Fine. I have the safe seat. I'm over here. I'm not over there. It's okay. It's a little crowded out there. It's a good thing.
Okay, can I ask all the Manning students being recognized tonight to please come forward?
Good luck with that. Well, here we'll make a line up behind us.
Line up right back here. We're gonna have the kindergarten, the little guys come out first, okay? So the older guys can stay towards the back. Kindergartners are gonna be up first, okay? Yep.
Young.
Cute. Hi, my name is Kristen Krestel. I'm the principal at Manning, for those of you who don't know me. These students tonight from Manning are being recognized for what it takes to be an outstanding meteor. When the teachers were tasked with this award, we asked them to recognize students based on 6 different characteristics, one being trustworthy, being respectful, being responsible, being fair, being caring, and being a good citizen. As I read off your names, we're going to start with kindergarten. Please come to the front. Riley Johnson from Mrs. Perino's class. Kelsey Kyle from Mrs. Perino's class. Jack O'Brien from Mrs. Roth's class. Elena Savicivic from Mrs. Roth's class. Michaela Hill from Mr. Workama's class. And Charlie Stekety from Mr. Workama's class. Please come forward. Go ahead up front. Go ahead up front.
It's just adorable.
She's adorable. Oh, that's awesome.
You remember those days?
There were those. Thank you. All right, our first grade students from Mrs. Jasper's class, Spencer King and Isabella Fernandez. Please come forward. Go ahead.
Way forward. There you go.
From Mrs. Mullane's class, Emily Sika and Kyle Johnson. And from Mrs. Pault's class, Allison Kumain and Camille Costel. Thank you. Okay, second grade, you guys ready? When I say your name, go ahead and walk up front, all right? Okay, our second grade students from Mr. Carrier's class, Andrew Picard and Cooper Rathburn. From Mrs. Frank's class, Raylan Perry and Rocco D'Amato. And from Mrs. Gordon's class, Rachel Murata. Congratulations. Okay, our third grade students from Mrs. Gray's class, Billy McGee and Jasmine Osorio Ortiz. From Mrs. Rath's class, Emma Hernandez and Noah Valentin. And from Mrs. Schultz's class, Denali Belmonte. Fourth grade, you almost ready? Okay, fourth graders from Miss Caliendo's class, Sitlali Quinones and Henry O'Connor. From Mrs. Mazzacano's class, Andrea Garcia and Nicola Kamanakis. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Mrs. Walsh's class, Maya Curry and Ben Perry. And from Congratulations. And our last group, our fifth graders. As I read your names, please come forward. From Ms. Hayes' class, Jason Sapluski and Susanna Morano. From Mrs. Mulvey's class, Brendan Chmielewski and Noemi Robb. And from Mr. Padilla's class, Jordan Karish and Armand Pajwani.
Yeah.
Like have a moment with them.
Yeah.
Her sister is in Gavin's class.
Wow. Wow.
But she's talking. So sure, taking a picture.
Congratulations.
No one's staying? They're all leaving.
Here's your pen. Okay, are we done?
Yeah. So.
Oh, no.
Because when you're not sitting here.
Well, once again, that is like one of the best things we do in our job. Next time we do this, we will do this in a bigger venue at the high school.
Break it up,
The high
maybe
school.
junior high, high school one night.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll do that so we can have it all much more smooth for the families. But still a wonderful night for District 201 to see such fantastic work going on by our students and staff and parents. So, all right, the next item on the agenda is approval of minutes.
Where's everyone going?
Matt wants to know why everybody isn't staying for the rest of the meeting.
Everyone's going to go home and watch it, Matt.
There you go, that's it.
We gotta get the kids in
That's
bed.
it. That's
Sure.
right.
Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the closed session of the September 9, 2014 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the December 16, 2014 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the closed session of the December 16, 2014 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Are there any public comments?
Is there any public?
Come on, Linda.
All right, the consent agenda. Any comments or questions on? All right, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Number 1, personnel recommendations. Kimberly Seidelman, Accounting Coordinator, Business Manager Assistant. Number 2, disposal of equipment. 3, approval of January 2015 expenditure report. And 4, ratification of December 2014 regular payroll. Roll call, please, Mrs. McMahon.
Well, so moved.
Oh,
Second.
okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Armstrong?
Yes.
Ms. Caparelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Hancock?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Natbush?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mrs. Charlton?
Yes. Okay, the first item for discussion is a presentation of monthly financial statements.
Okay, the district received about $456,000 from the state during the month of December, and that was for the first quarter mandated categorical, so they're on their usual cycle of being a quarter behind. But they did voucher a little over $390,000, which was the second quarter categorical, so hopefully we'll get those in another 2 months. We received 2 installments of the 2013 tax levy in the amount of $616,000. So we've collected 99.7% of the levy this year, which is right on average with the prior 3 years. Again, in the ed fund, we received about $306,000 from the state, and they have vouchered $242,000 of payments. In the O&M fund, revenues are comparable to prior years. And in the transportation fund, again, we received that first quarter categorical payment in the amount of about $150,000, and the state vouchered the second quarter, again, about $150,000. And revenues are where they should be, and they're below the prior year average because they paid on time for the fourth quarter last year. And then expenditures in the ed fund are where they should be at this time of year. In the O&M fund, we're about 43% spent to date, and last year it was 41%, so we're right on target with where we have been in the past. In transportation fund, we're on target there, and again, the timing of invoices varies from month to month, and so we're good there. Does anybody have any other questions about any of the other reports for the financials?
Hoping the winter stays the way it does.
Yes, I hope so.
Within
that
the budget.
We don't have a lot of overtime.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, thank you. Then the next item on the agenda is an approval item, review and award of the chiller bid. Could I ask you to just take a minute? I've had a couple of people ask me what a chiller is, and if you could.
It's for the air conditioning in
Okay.
the school.
Okay, thank you. Do you want to?
Could you refresh my memory on, I know this was on the agenda and we discussed it last month, or at the last meeting. It looks like you're just looking for approval on the base bid and not the
Correct.
alternates?
Right.
So when we talked at the last meeting, was it both chillers that were at issue or just the one?
Just the one. And we got bids for both, and then for to do the other classrooms. But we decided based on, the bids were a little bit higher than we had anticipated them being. And so we decided to, right now, repair the one that was broken, and we will address the other one if and when the time comes.
Okay.
Because it could be, it could be tomorrow, it could be 5 years from now, it could be 10 years from now.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
You said this one is or is not for the classroom? The ones in the classroom still?
no, there's two, there's like the old industrial arts and, and what was the other classroom? Was the early childhood room or whatever. We have portable air conditioning units in there. We thought about air conditioning those rooms, but again, those bids came in a little bit higher than we anticipated. So there is cooling in those rooms, and we're gonna continue with the method that we're currently using. And we talked about the different unit, and we had a McQuay unit, and the bid we're going with is the Carrier unit, and they seem to think that'll be more efficient for us. And we do have other Carrier units in the district, so.
Okay, are there any other questions or comments? Then the chair will entertain a motion to approve the chiller replacement base bid with how do you say that? Acitelli Heating and Piping Contractors Incorporated in the amount of $204,000 for work at Westmont High School as presented.
So moved.
Second?
And roll call, please, Mrs. McMahon?
Ms. Caparelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Hancock?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Knappbush?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong?
Yes.
Mrs. Charlton?
Yes. Okay, then we have the superintendent's report.
I have a couple items for the board this evening. First, joint committee update. The joint committee met on Tuesday, January 20th, and the strategic planning subcommittee, they developed a template for developing SMART goals and asked each of the other committees to develop their SMART goals, which will then be shared with the strategic planning committee, and then ultimately that will be the heart of the district strategic plan. And there's been some conversation as well in terms of surveying staffing community as part of that process as well. The Climate Committee, their focus was the Illinois 5 Essentials Survey, which is available currently for parents to fill out, district families, and the goal of the Climate Committee is to have at least 50% of district families complete the survey. And I believe all the schools right now are in the process of contacting their families, and there are, if you go to the school sites, there are links available to take that survey.
Before you go off that topic, I just want to say I did mine, and it took 5 minutes. And it really is, it's pretty quick and straightforward, so.
I guess I'd have a quick comment on that, too. I think last time there was parent-teacher conferences, and the schools were able to set up computers. Is there any avenue like that coming up soon?
What's the
dates don't match or something?
Yeah.
Closes before parent-teacher conferences this year.
Is there anything going on at the school that the parents?
We have Family Literacy Night, which we will be talking about that, and Family Literacy Night and 5 Essential Surveys, as well as the other.
Okay.
That brings up a good point, like because all the schools have their own.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, so if someone was at one event, they could fill it out for the other school?
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as we brought it up.
So for each school, we do have parents that have students in multiple schools. So for each child in each school, the household should fill out one survey. So they have somebody at Westmont High School, one survey for Westmont High School, one for the junior high. So one survey per child per household, per school.
Okay.
And we're looking for at least 30%. We would love to see more than 50% of parent participation in this per school. But in order to get some minimum data, it would be approximately 30% is our goal.
I guess what I was suggesting is maybe at sporting events or anything we have going on within the buildings, we could set up a few computers and a sign, and as parents are walking in to, see their children participate, they could be encouraged to take a few minutes and do the survey.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, it doesn't, as long as you're in the school, have a computer available for them. That's all I was driving at.
Sounds great.
Okay.
And, I know I don't remember what the thing said, but if you want to just put in there that it really takes a couple minutes, because it really was no time at all, and
From what we've heard, it's approximately 5 to 10 minutes,
Right.
Per survey, and really we take that data as principals, as school leaders, and we use that towards our school improvement and between the instruction piece and then also the overall climate of the school. So it's a great data point for us in order to improve our schools.
And could you just tell us again, what's the cutoff date for that?
The cutoff is, I believe it's March 13th, and it says on the school websites as well, and it's been open since January 12th.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And then the Facility Finance Committee, they reviewed the resolution that was passed by the board for the referendum on April 7th, and then again reviewed the scope of the proposed projects. And the district now is in that mode of putting together informational presentation for the referendum, and then also seeking parents who may want, or community members who want to help with the sharing of that information and getting the information out to our community prior to April 7th. And there will be a meeting tomorrow at 6:30 at South School for anybody who is interested in, again, contributing to the informational presentation and working towards that. In terms of communication, a couple of things there. One is similar to the park assessment that many school districts are thrilled to be participating in this year. Another assessment that the State Board of Ed in 2015 will be requiring is the Kindergarten Individual Development Survey, or KID survey, which the premise is very good. It's to check students for kindergarten readiness and then their growth throughout the year. A couple of problems. Districts similar to ours, we already have assessments in place that we're doing those things. Currently, the state is not funding the assessment. And then also, some of the districts that are piloting the assessment are reporting that it's very time-consuming, and you lose a lot of instructional time. And then also, the state is not getting the results back to make the assessment meaningful, whereas the assessments we're doing, our teachers have the results right away, and then they can use that to drive instruction. And so, once again, the DuPage area superintendents, we drafted a letter for to be carried forward to hopefully, similar to what we wanted to see happen with Park, to take a step back, implement it in a fashion that we were confident would be successful and we'd get good feedback from it. Similar to the kids assessment, if we do have to go down this road, let's make sure we're doing it thoughtfully and then also helping to fund that. So there's that information in your board book. The district calendar committee.
Before you leave
Yep.
that, so, because I've been reading a little bit about this, and I know there's been some concern. So right now, it's, again, mandatory,
Yes.
with no funding,
Yes.
taking a lot of time,
Yes.
duplicating what we already do.
Correct.
Okay,
And it doesn't align to the next series of tests
Correct.
either.
right.
Correct.
It's not
Common
timely.
Core and Para.
Okay,
Right.
so, and that's, kind of been, so as of right now, what happened with the park? Can you just remind us how that, or do we have a ruling such as it is on park? Or where does that stand?
Yeah, we will be administering Park twice in the spring, once in March and then end of April, beginning of May. The two testing windows. Right now, they're asking districts to take practice tests so that the State Board of Ed knows if they're going to be able to handle the amount of traffic for the assessment. And I know at Chicago Public Schools, they're pulling out. I'm not sure how they're able to do that, but they elected not to participate. And again, there's definitely still a high level of concern, and we still continue to talk to our local legislators as well as the State Board of Ed to have them rethink the assessment and the implementation of the assessment. But we will be participating this spring.
So like, what happens to the Chicago Public School for not, what, you just get slapped on the wrist, or what happens? It's not like we're getting money for it.
Right. Probably.
Just because just the discussion of all these assessments, and like you say here, if we don't get the data back,
Right.
what are we assessing?
Yeah. And there.
I was just curious, the letter that was drafted and sent in, do you feel like that's an academic exercise, or do you feel as though there's an opportunity to make a difference, sometimes, you're voicing your objection,
Right.
but you sort of know in advance that.
I was going to ask the same question.
Right,
Right.
I'm curious if there is any real opportunity to.
There's always hope, I think, based upon our experience with Park. We're less optimistic this time. Last time with Park, going into that process, I know school districts were optimistic that they would be heard, and that didn't occur. And so, we want to at least make people know that we're unhappy with this and hope that this time it does have an impact.
I'm glad that the superintendents went through the process and drafted it. I'm just, curious what the other end is, the outcome. If you're, hopeful, or if it's sort of.
The word is there, because of the new administration, there could be some changes, within the Illinois State Board of Ed, and who knows then at that point if possibly the voices will be heard at that point in time.
Do people need to do more? Is there more opportunity? This is something that's being fought at the district administrator level, but.
It's similar to when we had SB 16, letting local elected officials know about the concern. That also may help, put pressure on the system.
See, Chicago, CPS didn't want that either, but that, they were, ostensibly able to influence the whole on that one. On this one, they're just out and the rest of us are swinging in the breeze, or
Right.
can we put all DuPage together and just be out also, or?
That's kind of what I'm asking.
I just, at some point, you're sort of spitting into the wind and you have to do something different. I don't know what that different is, I'm not sure, but.
Well, in part because of its size, CPS typically,
Aware.
I mean, if you look at the Illinois School Code, there are some provisions that apply to school districts less than 500,000. Well, there's pretty much only one school district that's under 500,000. So, you know, so that's part of it. Whether or not, you know, if an entire county pulled together and made that decision, what the impact would be, you know, definitely you could lose some funding, you know, if you don't participate. So the question is,
You mean we'll get less funding from the state than we get less now?
Well, you sort of have to wonder if you're doing it all together, if that's the result. I mean, I get if one small district, you know, then they're penalized, right? But much like CPS, once you make that whole a greater percentage, I don't know.
Put a nice, you know, dent in the deficit.
Right. I mean, and what if it was all the collar counties? CPS pulled out. What if all the collar counties got together and said, we go the way of the 800-pound gorilla?
yeah.
I don't know, but
Have we, so, obviously, this is another one of these things that gets thrust upon us in that. Can, in terms of like what happened with Senate Bill 16, I mean, is there a letter writing campaign that, I mean, that the kindergarten parents of DuPage County can do or something, or letting your
You know, I can,
representatives know, or some such thing?
well, it never hurts to let your legislators know, you know, because ultimately, you know, that also drives the process.
is this letter being sent to all the legislators that are, so it doesn't just go to the DuPage Board or, you know,
Right.
Illinois Board of Ed? It
Right,
goes
but
to.
it's being shared.
And I imagine we've shared with our kindergarten families, so they know.
Well, this won't
Family comes
impact
home.
the current kindergarten, it'll be next year's
Oh,
income
okay.
kindergarten. Yeah,
Okay.
so,
I've just heard some people talking about this and been reading about it, and again, it's another, and it's unfortunate because some of the assessments that are done are vital
mhm.
to the growth of the students, and when they're just all lumped under one. Okay, well, thank you, Tim.
Sure. And then the calendar committee did meet today, but I haven't received anything from the committee. We have an admin meeting on Thursday, and I think we have Kristen Kretzel and Denise Matthews are the administrative representatives. I'm sure they'll share information, and I'll provide that to the board. But again, our goal is in February to get that approved so our families can begin planning vacations for the next year. Another item I have is the week of February 2nd through the 6th is National School Counseling Week, and included in the board book is a proclamation that will become part of the minutes declaring February 2nd through 6th is National Counseling Week. And the other part to it is our counseling department did apply for RAMP status, recognized American School Counseling Association Model Program. They did receive information that their application was not approved, but they received some feedback so they can tweak that. You know, that status is the highest status that a high school department can achieve. So we're optimistic that they'll be able to do that. And then the last item I have, it actually was in your black folder, but Jack Baldemar, high school principal, had come to the board at one time asking about doing an off-campus lunch. And he's refined his proposal, and what he's looking to do now is just have a couple of days as an incentive for the seniors. It's aligned with, you know, the goal of students participating in taking AP exams, but then it's also tied to their performance in the classroom. And if they're working in the classroom, they're good citizens, and if they meet that set of criteria, then the students would be allowed on a couple Fridays an extended lunch period so that they could do an off-campus lunch. So, Jake, is there anything else you want to add to that?
I have one. Does this only apply to students in AP classes?
No, any senior,
Okay, thank you.
but seniors only. When we talk to our students, this is the incentive they were most interested in. and there's a lot of different pieces to it. I'll be brief. I mean, I really think that all of our students, but they're really going above and beyond. They're challenging themselves in ways that we haven't challenged them before, and that few schools in the state will have about the highest percentage of students involved in the AP program of any high school in Illinois. And that requires more work from our students. So this is, on an occasional basis, with parent permission, the opportunity for them to participate in open campus. It's open to all seniors. The other new twist to it, though, is they have to be rated by their teachers as giving either excellent or at least adequate effort. If there's any major disciplinary infractions, if students are not seen as giving at least an adequate effort in their classes, then they will not be allowed to participate. Part of this, too, is to send a message that you could take your foot off the gas in June, but this idea of senioritis or, cruising into the last few months of high school is the worst thing you can do. You're going to face even more intense challenges when you get to the collegiate level or in whatever vocational training that students receive or wherever they attend when they leave Westmont High School. So we really want them to continue to give their best effort to excel academically, and if they're giving the best effort, then they'll earn this privilege with your support and their parents' permission too. And I've been very clear to them, if they don't, respect the trust we're placing in them, then they'll not only ruin it for themselves as individuals, but maybe for their whole class and for classes years to come. So I met with every single senior to talk about that. What a great opportunity this is to, demonstrate your hard work, to be recognized, and that's the real incentive. We made that clear too. So it's open to all seniors, not just the AP students. But the first piece is to also encourage students to sign up to take the AP exams. So.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that, your average student is covered off, because it almost seems, there's a lot of focus on AP, and I'm all for it. I think it's great, but there's a lot of students out there that are trying really hard that might be pulling A's and B's in the standard classes and are good students and are very responsible. I don't want them penalized because they're not an AP.
No, it's open to all seniors.
Okay, thanks.
What's the average cost to take an AP exam?
Well, the exam is $91, and then in the past, and this year too, we're trying to offset some of the costs for families who are taking multiple exams. If the student is on free and reduced lunch, the cost of the exam can be as low as $10. So it's subsidized by College Board and by the state in the past.
And do the students know that?
Yes.
I mean, I know you're obviously trying to encourage as many exams as possible. And I just want to make sure that for our families that $91 per test, could be fairly daunting. So
yes.
I hope those students know that there's assistance available.
They absolutely know. Okay. Last year, I don't think it could have, as far as parents knowing, and that's part of the power of our high school. We can counsel students on an individual basis, call their families, call their parents, call them and talk to them, find out about how we can support them in making that happen. And we really think that's an essential part of the process for multiple reasons. First of all, it keeps them focused on giving best effort throughout the school year. If they don't take the exam, they can say, well, I'm just taking the course. The experience itself is part of the AP whole environment. It prepares them for what many of us know students will experience at the collegiate level, which are high-stakes semester exams where sometimes the whole semester rests on an exam. It also gives us a really valuable feedback about how successful we've been. And we had a huge jump, but as time goes on, we're going to keep increasing expectations. But without the feedback and the data about performance, we're kind of guessing. So, and a lot of schools will only let their top students take the exams. We want all our students to take the exam for the experience, to keep them focused, and to get data and feedback because it's informative for teachers too. So.
Thank you.
If a student doesn't take the exam, does that affect their grade that they're given from our school, our grades? Okay.
There's school districts that do that, and it's quite an incentive because then if you don't take the exam, it can hurt your GPA. We don't do that. So we strongly encourage students. We have some incentives. One of the unique incentives we have is if students take the class and then, we don't get the test results until the next July, but grades are due at the end of May. If a student excels on the exam, we give the teachers the opportunity to go back and change the grades of students potentially. So let's say a student all year long was getting a grade of a B, but then they score extremely well on the test. The teacher, this is teacher driven. The teacher has the opportunity to go back and improve the grade. There's no reducing the grade, but if maybe, sometimes students bring it all together and they make it really happen last minute and they excel on the exam, and we're very proud of that. Then the teacher has the opportunity to go back and improve the student's grade based on the feedback that we receive from the national exam.
So what you're talking about here, let me just ask again, you said that that is one of the things that's student-driven? Like the students find this an incentive that they like?
They do. They feel like they'll be treated like adults. And it's kind of a unique thing. I mean, we haven't done it in 20 years. But we really met with every single senior in small groups and talked to them about what an opportunity this is, that we're trusting you. And, I'm from the bottom of my heart, our kids are incredible. Their behavior, their citizenship, I mean, they're not perfect. They're young people. But they really, they've really had a great year so far from a behavior standpoint. And like I said, we're pushing them academically in a way that few schools do. I mean, we really have about 75% of the class taking an advanced placement class. That's near the top of the state, if not the top of the state. And you know all the data about the improvement and achievement. So we're asking them to go above and beyond. And and I was clear about this, the incentive is your learning. The incentive is you're preparing for the future. This is just a nice little bonus carrot that says we recognize how hard you're working and that you're good citizens.
The reason I ask is just because a lot of times if it is driven by student requests, sometimes it's more palpable than something like that the adults say. So if the kids find it a strong incentive, that's
Yeah, this definitely
credibility.
was generated by the students. Now, it's a little experiment too, because we're going to have to get feedback from the teachers, because it's open to all seniors, but they have to be giving a quality effort. If they're not giving at least a quality effort, then they won't be able to participate. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Okay.
So we talked about this once before, and now it's coming, are we going to vote on this at any point? Is it a vote, or is it just something that?
It could just be consensus, that if the board is agreeing with trying it, then, Jack can implement. Last time, it was for, like the entire semester, it wasn't just a couple of days. So when Jack met with the seniors again, what they find motivating is that opportunity to have that off-campus lunch. And so rather than saying, Monday through Friday, it's just a couple of Fridays. So it's been reduced. It's an opportunity to see how the students respond to that and to see if they take that responsibility seriously.
We're tentative, depending on how it goes, we're asking for 5 days in the second semester.
Will that increase if this goes well?
For the future?
Yeah.
It could.
Okay.
So can I just ask, so what safeguards are put in? So these students are going to leave, and then at some point they have to check back in, and somebody, so can, if you do this, could you kind of let us know how the first couple go?
Absolutely. Parents have to sign up. Well, first of all, students have to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be in good standing from a disciplinary standpoint and give adequate effort at least. Then they have to have parent permission to make this happen. And then, of course, we'll monitor it very carefully. And we'll prep the students, too. We'll talk to them ahead of time, say, listen, we're going to adjust the lunch period slightly because we don't want them to have a half hour because that's going to be crazy. They'll be driving, rushing and then rushing. Mm-hmm. So we're going to adjust the time slightly for seniors only on these potentially 5 days. And then, of course, we'll monitor their attendance when they leave and then when they come back. And we've prepped them, and we'll prep them again.
Are we talking 45 minutes? Are we talking an hour? What's this?
In the lunch hour and the fifth period class, it goes about from 11:30 until 1:02. So what they'll do is they'll go to the fifth period class for about 25 minutes of that time. So they'll still meet with their teachers, they'll still have the class that day, it'll just be reduced. And that gives them about 55 minutes to go. And we're going to encourage them strongly to go to local establishments. There's 4 or 5 choices within. You could walk, so you don't have to even drive. You could walk to the deli, you could take a 3-minute car ride to Chipotle or Wendy's or Standard Market or a little further to Subway. But we're going to encourage them to stay at those establishments. And then we'll check them back in 6th period. If anybody abuses it, they'll lose the privilege for the rest of the year. But I am confident that the majority, if not all the students, will honor it, and so.
I, for one, am excited if it's something that, like you said, is driven by the students, because hopefully then they work for it more. I mean, as parents, sometimes we offer things to our kids that they don't really care about. But as long as, and Mary Kay brought up a couple of good points, as long as it is open to every student, because they all have differences and
Sure.
in that, I'm interested to see how it goes.
We'll get you a lot of feedback if you consent
Yeah, it
to
would
having
be
us
great.
do this.
It would be great.
I'm absolutely for it. The sooner you start, the better I like it. I mean, there's kids in the military at that age, we're worried about sending them out for an hour for lunch. Especially with the parents' permission, I think it's a great thing.
All right, well, keep us informed.
We'll keep you completely
great.
informed, so.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the students, I know many of them have explained to me, they really feel like, they're really excited that it might happen, but they really feel like they're respected and trusted that they would be given this opportunity. So it's a really big deal to them.
Good.
Great.
Let me just make one more quick comment.
Sure.
You had said that if a student abuses it, like doesn't come back after lunch or something, that student wouldn't be allowed to have it again for the rest of the year. I think the punishment needs to be larger than that, because that student has to realize that he's not just representing himself out there, he's representing the school and his fellow students. So I would almost, put a little bit harsher on there, like, okay, if anybody, doesn't come back, the next one is going to be canceled for everybody. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know how everybody here feels about that, but, I mean, you have to make it so that everybody understands that it's for everybody, not just for me.
We've talked about that. We've said you have to be peer leaders. If somebody's thinking about doing something silly, they're going to jeopardize it for everybody. So we've talked to every single senior about that. I'd feel if there was a small group of students, let's say 2 or 3, who were irresponsible, I have a hard time punishing everybody for that. But we have talked about if it's abused, you're going to blow a good thing for yourselves, the whole class, and future generations. And we talked about you need to exert positive peer pressure. And I do feel like they got that message. And I do feel like that's one of the powerful things about Westmont High School. They all know each other. And if somebody's squirrely, they'll push on each other a little bit.
See what happens.
Yes.
And perhaps it's just worth reconsidering if something, that you're dissatisfied with happens. Maybe at that point, that notion would be reconsidered. Hope for the best now and keep your options open.
It's just a meeting, but I wish you would have been like a fly on the wall. The kids, you could have heard a pin drop. They were so attentive, so tuned into this, took it so seriously. They seemed so grateful. I mean, I just love our kids, but they really, when we discussed this, they handled it like very mature young adults. We'll see where it goes from here, but I have confidence that they'll do a good job.
Okay.
But we'll certainly keep you informed.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the last item I have is, this evening, we recognize a great number of students. It was probably, I think, our largest student recognition we've had. But it's Judy McMahon who organizes it all, does all the certificates, stays after the buildings to make sure they submit their names in a timely fashion. So I'm very appreciative of Judy McMahon's efforts in making tonight a success. So, thank you.
Hold on, Judy, let me take your picture.
And while we're talking about that, I think that, we, as much as we like to have our meetings here, I think it is important to, have the next one. So I've already made a note, we'll see if we can have the next one at the high school and still work on having it televised and that, so.
I also think, Marie, just to piggyback on what you're saying, that if we do it with all the schools, which I think is a nice thing, I think the younger ones need to come up first. Only because it's got to be so hard for those little ones to, and they were great tonight. I mean, they really held it together well.
I agree. I think it's a nice problem to have, that we have such, and it's having some differences in terms of the awards, and it's not just always the kids who have the perfect grades. To go across and to have a cross-section of students. But I also like to be cognizant of the parents who've come, and it's hard to not be able to sit and enjoy the evening. And so, I think it's a wonderful thing to do this, and but we got to make sure that the next time we have a bigger room. And yes, probably have the little ones come first. That's a good idea. Okay, do you have anything else, Kim? Okay. Are there any board reports? I do know that, the sixth graders just had their outdoor ed, and that, from all accounts, sounds like it went real well. This coming weekend is Snowflake for this, for the other kids that are interested in going to that. We have a lot of attendance at that. Is there anything else?
The junior high boys basketball team just won a big tournament over the weekend, right?
Yes. That was fantastic, yes, was
Is that just the 8th grade team, or is that the?
It was the 8th grade team had won the entire thing.
Wow, congratulations to them.
Yeah, that was great, anything else coming up?
Just a quick, it's not school related directly, but a local event that I stumbled across, my wife stumbled across and directed me there. I believe it was this past weekend, over at the Sweet and Savory spot in Westmont. Uncle John's Music hosted a ukulele circle. I took my daughter. I was expecting it was going to be maybe like 10 people or something like that. I think it was closer to 100. There was like no parking on the street. It was mob. It was incredible. It was a lot of fun. And I'd say one of the things that was really neat is we had actually a couple of the dads that were here tonight running it, who were up front leading the music, stuff like that. They're in the Manning Dads band. Things like that. But it was an awesome event. It's the kind of thing where I was talking to people, and it's like, this is why I love Westmont. So, very cool.
I'll also add, I think since the last meeting, the Coaches versus Cancer event was, and boy, that was really a fantastic evening to watch. I think for me, the thing that I found interesting was to watch the students as they watch their teachers play basketball. I mean, I don't know, when I was going to school, I would have paid money to see that, but it was just fantastic. And I got to tell you, we have some fantastic basketball players in our district that are teaching. But it was a great evening. I mean, all the teachers that played all had shirts on that said "In Memory of Emily Wheeler." All the proceeds of the evening went to the American Cancer Society. It was a great evening, and I hope that continues. It was a fun night. The kids had a ball. I just still want to know how some teachers had kids in the audience with signs and some didn't. But John played. Very good. Yep. Jack did not, but whatever. It was a lot of fun though. It was a great. We still have well, I told you about the tumbling that's coming up, so you got the tumbling. No, it was a great evening. I mean, great evening. Watch the kids get so excited. I mean, it was just a great evening across all. So anyway, that I wanted to share. Anything else? All right. Then future upcoming events: preschool screening, February 5th by appointment only. Please contact district office, and information's on the website. As Kevin mentioned, tomorrow night will be the next meeting of the referendum committee, if anybody is interested in working with the district on that. And then the next school board meeting will be February 10th at 7 o'clock here in Village Hall. The chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned. And there will not be a vote after close.
Are we,
Well, I'm sorry.
You just did,
I'm sorry.
you just adjourned the
I'm
meeting
sorry,
instead
I'm sorry.
Which is fine, Bree.
Okay, again, for
Fine.
the second
out of
time.
here?
That's why I said it so fast.
Okay, I want to change this.
Scratch that?
Next meeting. Okay, we'll erase that out.
Do the pledge.
Actually, it's really okay.
Well, wait a minute, you guys jumped in and approved, okay, we'll erase that out. The chair will entertain a motion to enter closed session for the purpose of discussing collective bargaining, personnel issues, student discipline, and probable litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Hancock?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Natbush?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong?
Yes.
Ms. Caparelli?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes. And, you know, I guess that's what I get. I get that because I called you out, so.
Karma.
I'm so excited, it's 8 o'clock.
I promise to be
Okay.
brief also.
There will not be a vote after closed.